Hey everyone, today we are breaking down the iconic dicing episode from the Mahabharata that forms the part of your Indian classical literature syllabus. It's full of drama, lessons, and twists, but don't worry, I'm here to explain it in a way that's simple as well as easy to follow. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll have a clear understanding of why this story is so crucial for your syllabus. So let's jump in. The dicing syllabus, the dicing episode and its sequel in the Mahabharata. It is found in the Sabha Parva, the book of the assembly hall, and it marks a crucial turning point in the epic. This episode revolves around the deceitful dice game between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Leading to the humiliation of Draupadi, the Pandavas' exile, and the eventual Kurukshetra war. There is a detailed summary in a simple language for your understanding, right? Now, this is the basic context that you need to know for the further reading. The Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, and Sahdev, they had established their kingdom in Indraprastha after surviving many challenges. Okay, इनको बेसिकली एक और किंगडम हस्तिनापुर तो इन्हें मिला नहीं था, तो युधिष्ठिर भीम अर्जुन नकुल सहदेव को एक और किंगडम एस्टैब्लिश करना पड़ा था इंद्रप्रस्था में. ओके, अंडर युधिष्ठिर's रूल द किंगडम prospered and their fame spread far and wide. To assert their power, Yudhishthira, मतलब to make their power more stronger, Yudhishthira performed the Rajasuya Yajna, okay, which required him to seek the alliance with other kings. Okay, it was grand, attended by powerful rulers including the Kauravas. Duryodhan, the eldest of the Kauravas, was struck by envy, jealousy, when he witnessed the wealth and the grandeur of the Pandavas. His jealousy deepened as he toured their magnificent palace designed by the divine architect Maya. He became determined to bring the Pandavas down. Duryodhana was always jealous of, the Pandavas. When he saw the magnificent palace, which was designed not by some architect, normal mortal architect, it was designed by Maya, who designed heaven. So he became determined to bring the Pandavas down. Okay, what was his plan? Devious, devil, devil word side, devious plan. Okay, Duryodhana shared his jealousy with his uncle Shakuni, who was known for his cunningness. Okay, Shakuni proposed a dice scheme as a way to destroy the Pandavas. He was a master at manipulating the dice and assured Duryodhana of victory. Together, they convinced King Dhritarashtra, the Kauravas' father, to summon Yudhishthira to Hastinapura for the game. Yudhishthira was reluctant. He refused, as he knew gambling could lead to trouble. However, he felt compelled to accept the invitation out of respect for Dhritarashtra and royal etiquettes. Okay? Yudhishthira, he's known for his wisdom and wit and his honesty. उसने साफ मना कर दिया कि मैं गैम्बलिंग नहीं करूँगा क्योंकि इट कैन लीड टू एनी ट्रबल. बट बिकॉज पहले के टाइम में इट वॉज बिलीव्ड कि हमें अपने बड़ों का आदर करना पड़ेगा. आज के टाइम में तो वी डोंट बिलीव इन इट, बट पहले के टाइम में इट वॉज लाइक रॉयल एटिकेट्स. उस ही वॉज एक्चुअली रिलेटिव टू धृतराष्ट्र एज वेल, not just a king. He wasn't just a king to him, right? So he had to accept the invitation out of respect and royal etiquette. Now the dice game begins. In the grand assembly hall of Hastinapur, the dice game was set. Yudhishthira and Shakuni, they played on behalf of their respective families. Okay, from the Pandavas it was Yudhishthira, and from the Kauravas it was Shakuni. Initially, the stakes were small. Stakes, as in if you have to play a dice game, you have to put something in stake. Okay, it was very small, like elephants or something like that. But Shakuni, using loaded dice, ensured that Yudhishthira kept losing. Okay, he ensured that he had a foul dice, a manipulated dice, his loaded dice. He ensured that Yudhishthira kept losing. Okay, the initial wages, Yudhishthira began by wagering his wealth, jewels, and livestock. So I told you they were small, but he lost everything. Encouraged by Shakuni's taunts, Yudhishthira staked his entire kingdom, Indraprastha, and he lost that too. Wagering family. Shakuni pushed Yudhishthira further, leading him to wager his brothers one by one. Nakula, Sahadeva, Arjun, and Bhim, everyone was lost. And Draupadi was finally Yudhishthira, blinded by his sense of honor and duty. He staked Draupadi, his wife, and he lost that as well, right? Now, the humiliation of Draupadi. Having won Draupadi, Duryodhana ordered his brother Dushasana to bring her to the court. Draupadi was unaware of the events and she refused to come, questioning the legal affair. How is it legal to bet upon persons? If Yudhishthira lost himself first, how could he wager me? Obviously, मैं अगर खुद को ही हार गई हूँ, if I don't have right upon myself, then how can I have right upon anyone else? Okay. Dushasana, he ignored all the protests and he dragged her by the hair into the assembly hall. Draupadi was humiliated in front of the elders and kings. She appealed to the elders, including Bhishma and Vidura, but everyone remained silent. They were bound by their loyalty to the Kauravas or their interpretation of dharma, because they thought कि ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ गलत हो रहा है. They all knew कि somewhere they are wrong, but देखा जाए तो it was all by rules. कि ऐसा नहीं है कि दुर्योधन और दुशासना उसे फालतू में ला रहे हैं. It was Yudhishthir who lost him. So they were like bound by dharma and their loyalty towards Kauravas, because they are all ministers of Kauravas. Okay, Duryodhan's father, he insulted Draupadi by making indecent gestures. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, further. It's not father. That's what I thought. And mocking her. Okay. मतलब दुर्योधना, he crossed all limits of decency, and he was so outrageous and so he thought that he has just won over Draupadi. Okay, and he was encouraged by his behavior. Even Dushasana attempted to disrobe Draupadi in the court. ठीक है, ये ध्यान रखना, it was Dushasana. Okay. Draupadi, in desperation, she prayed to Lord Krishna for protection. Miraculously, her sari became endless, frustrating Dushasana's efforts, and it ultimately saved her dignity, right? The Pandavas' vows. Now, the Pandavas, they were bound by their loss in the dice game. They could do nothing as Draupadi was being humiliated. Bhim, however, could not attain his rage. He swore to kill Dushasan and drink his blood for his vile act. He also swore to break Duryodhan's thigh, which he had indecently displayed to Draupadi. Arjun also vowed to kill Karna, who had insulted Draupadi, while Draupadi herself swore to keep her hair untied until she could wash it with the blood of Kauravas. The assembly was filled with tension as well as shame. Now, finally, Dhritarashtra, after all this, he intervened. He said that, fearing the divine retribution and public outrage, he tried to pacify Draupadi. He granted her three boons. Draupadi used her first boons to free Yudhishthira and her other husbands from slavery. However, she refused to use the third boon for personal gain, as it would violate her principles. Okay? She thought she'll use it later, not now. Okay. Dhritarashtra released Pandavas and returned their wealth. Duryodhana's anger remained. He persuaded his father to arrange another dice game. Okay, can you understand कि अभी भी एक और डाइस गेम परसुएट करना चाह रहा है कौन? दुर्योधन. बिकॉज ही इज सो हैंग्री, क्योंकि इसने तो अपना बूंद से, फर्स्ट जो बूंद से युधिष्ठिर और अपने बाकी हस्बैंड्स को और अपनी किंगडम को वापस ले लिया है, लेकिन अभी उसका क्या फायदा हुआ? गेम का कोई भी नहीं. देयर विल बी अनदर डाइस गेम. ओके, सेकेंड डाइस गेम हुआ था, इसमें स्टेक्स वर डिफरेंट. द लूजर वुड हैव टू गो इन टू एग्जाइल फॉर 12 years. जैसे राम जी को वनवास मिला था, ऐसे ही सेम एग्जाइल था. एंड देयर वाज अज्ञातवास, 1 year of living in disguise. what does this mean is कि अगर आउट ऑफ दोज 12 years, ठीक है, इन द लास्ट ईयर, ठीक है, मतलब 12 + 1 इट इज. ओके, इन द लास्ट ईयर यानी द 13th year, अगर किसी भी पांडव या द्रौपदी को इन लोगों ने ढूंढ लिया, या अगर कौरवास गए, तो अगर किसी को भी एक को देख लिया, तो दे go for 1 more year of exile. Yudhishthira, unable to refuse, agreed to play again. As expected, Shakuni uses his loaded dice and Yudhishthira lost once more. With the loss, the Pandavas and Draupadi they were forced to leave Hastinapur and begin their exile. How was their life in exile? During their 13 years, the Pandavas they faced numerous challenges but also grew stronger both spiritually and physically. Now, this life in exile doesn't form a part of your syllabus, it's just given in short because there are other scenes also, episodes of Mahabharata that are in your syllabus. Okay, very short, in very short, I'm telling you. The Pandavas lived in the forest, enduring hardships. They often reflected on the injustice done to them and prepared for the future. Arjun performed penance, tapasya ki, and received celestial weapons from the gods, which would later prove crucial for the Kurukshetra war, right? And Draupadi frequently expressed her pain and questioned Yudhishthira's decisions. However, she remained supportive of her husband's. What are the themes and lessons? सबसे पहले तो गैम्बलिंग. Yudhishthira की weakness for gambling highlights how a single flaw can lead to devastating consequences, right? Dharma versus adharma. The dice game and Draupadi's humiliation, they symbolize the battle between righteousness and unrighteousness. अधर्म और धर्म के बीच का जो फर्क है वो द्रौपदी की ह्यूमिलेशन से आया. Humiliation as a catalyst. Obviously, Draupadi's humiliation became the driving force behind the Pandavas' determination to defeat the Kauravas and restore justice. उनको अभी तक कोई मोह नहीं था कि उन्हें राज्य चाहिए. उन्होंने अपना अलग राज्य इंद्रप्रस्थ बना लिया था. बट what was Hastinapur facing? Injustice of Duryodhan and Dushasana and Dhritarashtra as well, because Dhritarashtra was so blinded by the love of Duryodhan and Dushasana and other Kauravas. Okay, Krishna's intervention during Draupadi's disrobing illustrates the importance of faith and divine support in upholding dharma. Obviously, how did they win this crucial war? By the intervention of divine forces. After 12 years of exile, the Pandavas spent the 13th year living incognito. You use incognito tab, it means that secretly, okay? In the kingdom of Virata, they assumed different identities to avoid being recognized. Despite challenges, they successfully completed their terms of exile. After completing the exile, the Pandavas demanded the return of their kingdom. However, Duryodhana refused to part even a small portion of land. The stubbornness and arrogance ultimately led to the declaration of Kurukshetra war. The conclusion is the dicing episode and its sequel, they are central to Mahabharata, shaping the events that led to the Great War. They highlight the destructive power of greed, the importance of dharma, and resilience of those wronged. The humiliation of Draupadi and the Pandavas, it serve as reminders of the consequences of injustice and the ultimate triumph of righteousness. ठीक है? With this we come to the end. ठीक है? You need to remember the themes, very important for exam. The character sketch of certain people, I'll try to give you the character sketch in one particular video after covering all the episodes of Mahabharata. All the best for your exams. If you have any doubts, comment below. Thank you so much.